Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name's David.
My name is Zach.
And my name is James, and I am very excited to be here. But before we go on, David, you have some people to thank before we continue with our podcast.
Yeah, all of our awesome top tier Patreon supporters: Hayden Hauser, Darth Ace One, Liam McCallan, Chris Simpson, Kevin Leininger, Devin McCaffrey, Drew Peters, Zach Netzel, Maya Morris, Maka Tautala, Adam Haber, Brad Mackey, Front Row King, and Darth Beard. Thank you so much for all your awesome love and support. And as you can
Let's
tell by my
go.
voice, I am recovering
From a concert.
Yeah, you went to a
Pretty
really
much.
hardcore concert, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about that. So yeah, I was lucky enough to go to San Diego Comic-Con, and it was my first San Diego Comic-Con, and it was a lot of fun, man. It was interesting to compare San Diego Comic-Con to Star Wars Celebration. And it looks like Noah Richards joining us on YouTube.
Noah.
How we doing,
What's
boys?
up, Noah?
Hey, Noah.
As I was
Wow.
saying, I'm recovering. But go ahead. What were you gonna say, James?
I was gonna say, I'm glad you made it back safely. I'm jealous because you sent us some pretty amazing pictures.
Yeah.
And pictures that I was just like, what? And I could have gone because it's literally 2 hours away, but I already had plans. It was my wife's and our anniversary, 7 years. We've been married for 7 years.
Hey.
So that's what we did. But she did tell me next year we probably will go. So we'll just celebrate our anniversary some other time. But I think, yeah, we're gonna go. So that's exciting because after what you went through, man, and like who you saw and everything, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I'm jealous. I'm beyond jealous that you were there.
Well,
Did you
here's the
wash
thing.
your hand after high-fiving RDJ?
And
Yeah,
Keanu
for
Reeves.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Where's
Yeah.
Handsoft?
Yeah. Whose hands were this felt the best? Was it Keanu Reeves or
Yeah,
was it
I'll get
RDJ?
in. I'll get into all that. I'll break it all down. There's 6 days worth of SDCC stuff. So I went as press along with Ted from Countdown City Geeks, and I'm a part of the Countdown City Geeks. And here's the logo that we're using on
Boom.
all the videos. You've probably seen them around. Some of the people on the show floor recognized our logo for Countdown City Geeks, so that was kind of cool.
Nice. Look at us.
But yeah, so yeah, and James, of course, he's helped. He's met the guys at last year's Superhero Comic-Con. But yeah, San Diego Comic-Con was definitely an interesting experience. I had seen for many years on YouTube the Marvel panel, which is what I always wait for
Yeah.
every July. And my goal, specifically to me, my personal goal was to see Kevin Feige walk across that stage with my own eyes. And the first night that I had a chance to do that, I wasn't allowed in Hall H because there was a lottery, which we're all familiar with, to go see Deadpool Wolverine
Don't mention that to
Ooh.
Colin.
in Hall H, right? So we didn't win the lottery, but I was able to go inside because I had to use the restroom. So when I went to the restroom,
Is that the trick? Okay.
Take a long pee.
so yeah, I look to my left and I see Kevin Feige walk across that stage. So I just start talking to the con gods and say, if this is it, I technically just did it. I saw Kevin Feige about 2 football fields away from me walk across that stage.
Wow.
So I guess if that's it, that's it. I guess I can't complain. I did the thing. I saw Kevin Feige. That was it. I went to the restroom. When I came back out of the restroom, Sean Levy came out on stage, who is going to direct a Star Wars film, allegedly, in the future. He came out on stage as I was walking out, and I think they announced Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Emma Corrin. So I was escorted out promptly. I met up with Ted. There wasn't a lot of sadness there. I mean, I've lost lotteries before at Celebration, so I know what that's like. You just find something else to do. And of course, it's San Diego Comic-Con, so there's all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff to do. All
Yeah.
kind of events happening, panels. But I think at that point we were hungry. So we went to And I didn't even know it was the Hard Rock Cafe till like one of the last days, but it was totally dressed up and down as SpongeBob. So there's a big SpongeBob theme. Yeah, it was weird. I didn't know we were eating at the Hard Rock Cafe, but so we head to the Hard Rock Cafe, but then Ted looks to me and he tells me, "Hey, I just spotted a celebrity just walk right past us, and they went in that restaurant." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's go to that restaurant." So we go to that restaurant, and there's the bar there. And at the bar, there was another celebrity from said TV show. And I was like, yeah, let's sit at the bar. And I was totally thinking that they were not going to allow us in that establishment, because if you've seen anything in regards to celebrities being like photographed and filmed,
Yeah.
a lot of the times they're at this particular restaurant, and I won't say the name, but I think you can figure it out. So at the bar, I sat next to a celebrity. There was other celebrities inside walking in, and it's like, how did they let us in here? So, and they were non-Star Wars celebrities. They were celebrities from random other shows. So we just kind of hung out, and it was kind of a cool vibe. It was a nice consolation prize for not seeing Deadpool Wolverine, but
Yeah.
still, I would have loved to see the movie. We had tickets for the night, though. So I bought tickets in South Texas for San Diego for
That's
that Thursday night. So
Nice.
we ended up taking a Lyft to go see the movie, of course. And in California, when you go see a movie at a movie theater, they show you 30 minutes of trailers before the movie actually starts.
30?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
it's quite a bit of trailers that show.
And I heard this before, but we were rushing. And
No
the
reason to rush.
particular AMC in San Diego we went to, we had to go upstairs. We had to go downstairs. We had to go upstairs, take an escalator down. And it's like, good God, it's like, when is this ever going to end? So Parker Middleton on Facebook says, hey.
What up?
Bender on YouTube says hello.
What's up, Bender?
You would love 30 minutes of trailers. I don't know. After a moment, you're
Ooh.
just kind of like, oh my gosh, can this thing start already? Anyway, that was me
Well,
watching Deadpool.
Maybe there's like a factoring of the San Diego traffic and California traffic. So maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. But I was relieved. We got in there right before the first trailer started, and I was afraid we were going to be late. We told our Lyft driver to like floor it, get us to the theater. I didn't want to miss the so-called greatest opening for a Marvel movie of all time. I didn't necessarily think
such
that
a
was
good
the case,
opening.
but yeah,
It was good,
It
though.
was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was
So yeah, we accomplished that.
Did you get the popcorn bucket?
I didn't get the popcorn bucket, but I got this one.
Dude, that's the one. I have the Deadpool one. Hold on.
oh my gosh.
So,
You
but I got
guys.
this one in Texas before I left to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
It was the day before. So
So wait, hold on.
nice. That looks
Dude.
That looks really cool.
Oh wait, where does careful. Oh. That's amazing.
I wanted that Wolverine one so bad because I wanted to buy them both and like set them on a shelf when I finish upstairs. So I might be offering you some cash for that there, David.
So Parker specified they are like mini movies. Trailers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They are like mini movies, and I will say before you go on, the longest like trailers I've ever seen, I think it was because I was so hyped, was The Force Awakens. It felt like those trailers for The Force Awakens were
yeah.
never going to end. I was like, is this what movie am I even watching now? Like it was crazy. It just kept going and going. Anyway, sorry, keep.
Yeah.
It's a little fun fact.
So yeah, and of course, if you're just joining us, I sound like this because I got sick in San Diego. The last night we watched Deadpool Wolverine again Sunday night. I felt the tickle in my throat, and I was like, Then when we landed back in South Texas, my ears did not pop.
Oh no!
So it was just like severe pain in my ears as we were just descending down to the tarmac. But I've been
Dang.
through that before. I think when I came back from Colin's place in Orlando once, I got sick as well. But yeah, the crowds were huge. Comic-Con on Saturday, especially shoulder to shoulder, you were going to be touching people no matter what. So Noah Richer on YouTube says, having been to both now, do you prefer Comic-Con or Celebration? I feel like SDCC, there's so much going on, it'd be hard to appreciate things at the moment. So here's the thing. I had a very negative mindset for SDCC. I've heard people like kind of rag on it and say it's not like Celebration. It's not
Hmm.
concentrated on one particular fandom. Of course, we all know this. Common sense will tell you that. But overall, the vibe was pretty good, man. I didn't really see any people being rude to each other. Um, it all felt like a big kind of like celebration, big kind of love fest in a way. It 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 exceeded my expectations. Um, and I want to go again for sure. And not just the fact that I got in his press and we got invited. So Countdown City Geekcast got invited to some very exclusive things that I got to participate in, which
Nice.
are just mind blowing. Thursday, I mean, we got invited to so many different things for Countdown City Geekcast that we couldn't attend all of them because they were all kind of intersecting with each other. Ashley Eckstein invited us to her fashion show. We weren't able to attend that. I think we attended something else because there's a hotel on both sides. If James would have gone, he could have gone to the fashion show, and like we could have done something else or vice versa. But yeah, there's a Hyatt, and then there's a Hilton on both sides of the convention center, and that's where they had all their interviews for stuff. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, so Thursday was our big interview day. I sat in the hotel all day long, and I interviewed a lot. I interviewed someone from Weta. The name escapes me right now, but I interviewed the lead CGI graphic artist for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes,
Nice.
and he also worked on Avatar as well. And I
Yeah.
asked him about the technology, how far it's advanced between Avatar and Kingdom, and he said it wasn't that much, but he talked about some interesting new things that were coming up, and that interview will be published on Countdown's website. But I took my wireless mics and I recorded the whole thing, and it worked really well. It was just a series of roundtables, and it was extraordinary. Just like the interviews you see on YouTube.
That's sweet, dude.
And yeah, that was all day Thursday. And thankfully at the convention, I wasn't sick at all. I got sick coming back. Just want to reiterate that. So I had like a fantastic time. Friday was the big day at Hall H. We got invited to go to Hall H through a series of different invites. And I got to be down there with the press. And it was interesting to me because I don't know if I was thinking more like a fan or maybe like a hybrid fan / press, but I was able to kind of get where I wanted to be without that much.
Like pushback and stuff.
Well, like there was other press there around me, but they were all civil. A lot of the press was from Mexico. It is San Diego Comic-Con International, and I made friends with them. We networked. And they had been veterans, so they kind of knew the ropes. But I was like, okay, so I wait every single year to watch these big panels from Hall H. I'm here right now physically, and I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, Hall H doesn't even seem that big. In my mind, I had this huge like vision of this place, and I was looking at the stage, and I was looking at everyone, and I was like, to me, it didn't seem as intimidating as I thought it was going to be, you know, because I was like right there, right next to the stage. But every single person that came up Friday and Saturday, I either high-fived them, fist bumped them, or shook their hand, except for Harrison Ford. So I got to see Harrison Ford about 2 feet away from me, walk up the stairs,
That's sweet,
walk in
dude.
front of me. And it wasn't like he was avoiding us, but he was looking straight to the cast of Captain America, Brave New World.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see these people up close. And I think the thing that really kind of hits you hard is the fact that how skinny they are. They are very, very skinny. And then I'm thinking back, it's like, okay, so yeah, the camera adds weight to you usually. And I just showed someone some pictures and video, and they were struck by that too. And they're like, oh my gosh, they appear to be so skinny. Harrison Ford is very, very skinny, very skinny. But I know he works out. I know he's very physically fit.
Dude's
He's got to
yoked.
be. I mean, yeah, he's up there in age, and he's still doing all these movies. So yeah, Noah Richard on YouTube asked, "Were you in a Hall H for the RDJ news? What was the vibe at the con after the news got dropped?" So yes, Noah, I was there. I saw Robert Downey Jr. So here, I'll set it up for you. The Russo brothers get announced to be the directors of Avengers Doomsday and the Avengers film that will happen, the second one that will conclude, I guess, the multiverse saga. And when those Doom actors came out on stage, they had green cloaks on, that Doctor Doom mask. And I noticed at the very end, because I was right down there, kind of eye level with the stage, with the actual stage you saw them on. So I noticed there was an actor that was wearing a different shade of green. And I saw him hop over a light. He hopped over a speaker. And I was like, okay, this is the actor they're about to announce. He's very nimble, very skinny. His mannerisms, I thought, oh my God, that looks like Brad Pitt. I thought it was going to be Brad Pitt. Because the way he was moving, like his body build, his body type, which I've been wrong about that stuff in the past. But I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get someone like a Brad Pitt type. I did not expect Robert Downey Jr. When he took the mask on, my expression was more like, I'm going to see Robert Downey Jr. up close. Once he exits, I was like, he's got to exit this way. So the Russo brothers came through. Like I said, high fives all around. Anthony Russo, high five. Joe Russo, high five. Robert Downey Jr., I stick my hand out and I'm like,
And
come
he
on,
kissed it.
RDJ. Come on. He slaps my hand and he rubs it. I'm like, how long is this going to be? And he takes off and he slaps high five with everyone else. But I was like, I can't believe I just high five Robert Downey Jr. I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. Because I mean, we all kind of know that he's not going to go to conventions and do photo ops.
He's not going to go to Space Con or whatever.
Yeah, he's
But
probably.
you went, James, right?
We'll talk about that. Right? Anyway,
So yeah, that was my reaction. I was like, I got to Robert Downey Jr.
That's so
I was
cool, dude.
there.
oh my gosh.
So yeah, so go ahead, James.
No, I was gonna say, and the vibes, like, was everyone excited about that? I know we're not talking about Star Wars, everybody. But,
Right.
but how
So
were the
yeah,
vibes,
of course,
around
yeah.
that?
Just like Celebration, when you're in the crowd, all the celebrities are there, everyone's hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
No one had time to think. One of the media outlets, she turned to me and she's like, she looked me dead in my eyes and she goes, I don't understand what's happening. And I told her, I'll explain it to you, what I think, my theory. Because of course we all know he died, Iron Man, Endgame.
Yeah.
How is Robert Downey Jr.
Whoa,
gonna come-
easy. Spoiler. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
It's the second biggest box office movie of all time, James, if you haven't seen it. Yeah. But I mean, of course, there's little kids that might listen to this, so yeah, I guess spoiler for that. But I mean, there's so many different ways you can bring him back, and Joe Russo said that he's the greatest actor. And of course, I think when me and James hear that, we probably think Daniel Day-Lewis. But of course, we know he's retired.
That would have been the ultimate, though. Like, that would have made Marvel go from here to like the stratosphere if Daniel Day-Lewis came in as Doctor Doom. I was thinking Cillian Murphy would have been a good pick for Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Dan Stevens was also a pick for me for Doctor Doom. Like, it was really shocking to see RDJ, and it was like, okay. And then also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we got to get people back into Marvel. So that's what you do. You got to bring them back,
So, yeah.
you know. Anyway, sorry.
So me and Ted were on the same wavelength. We're like, okay, this panel's over. Let's go back to that restaurant.
Oh boy, here we go.
Let's go talk to him. So we do that, and we were right. We walk by, and we see that they have their like special area cordoned off, and we're like, someone's showing up. So we don't eat there. We go eat at the Hard Rock, and we get our food. Then we go back to that fancy restaurant. We go to the bar. We made friends with the bartenders.
Nice.
So we're talking to the bartenders. Luckily, the seat at the very end of the bar was open. So we're like, yeah, we're going to see some people. I was thinking RDJ was going to be there. He wasn't there. But
No way.
Kevin Feige was there. The Russo brothers were there. And their families. And the people that work under Agbo, which is
Wow.
the Russo's company. So I just thought we're going to see them, just see them. I mean, it's cool just to kind of see them. I mean, Kevin Feige, I know if you listen to the podcast, big hero of mine. I love the fact that he was announced to do a Star Wars film. But of course, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But just to see him, I mean, that's all I don't want to bug him. He's at dinner. He's kind of celebrating another big step in Marvel's legacy. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's the most successful producer of all time. And just to be able to see him, But Anthony Russo walks out with a couple of people from his team. We later find out. And Ted sees him. And Ted goes, he picks up his glass and he says, Anthony, congratulations. And he goes, hey. And he like walks towards us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening.
I would have lost my mind. I would have been
So-
like, what's happening? What's happening?
He goes, how's it going, guys? Like he's like Anthony Russo's talking to us like he's not Anthony Russo and we're just like two nobodies. And he goes, hey guys, how's it going? What'd you guys think of the announcement? And Ted is like being over here all calm and stuff. And I'm like, Mr. Russo, I loved it. It was so great. I was like, thank God. I was praying for you guys to show up. And he's like, interesting. Okay. And I want to say, so I talked to so many people. I think I'm mixing up a lot of the stuff they told me. But I want to say Anthony Russo told me, God bless you. And I was like, because I do love those 4 films that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought so much joy and happiness to the fandom, to me. I have core memories of taking my family to go see those movies.
Yeah.
And I got to tell them that Infinity War is my favorite Marvel film. And
Mine too. Yeah.
And I forgot what Ted said. I think Ted told him Endgame, but I told him, no, Anthony Russo, my favorite movie of yours is Infinity War. And I think I told him why, but I don't remember that part. But yeah, we're just talking to Anthony Russo like he's just a guy on the street, a guy at the bar. And then thank God Ted goes, let's take a selfie. And he goes, oh yeah, of course, sure. And he puts his arms over us. And I'm like,
You didn't wash that shirt.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm about to take a picture with Anthony Russo. And I was like, man. And I mean, the way he treated us was like first class,
That's
I mean,
cool. I
Just
respect
about,
that a lot.
yeah, every interaction, we got first class treatment. Like, tell me about yourself. Tell me more. That's like, everyone talked to us like we were peers, And I didn't have a single negative interaction. So, but we met a lot of people. And it was very, I don't want to say out of body experience. Maybe if I was like 10 years younger, 20 years younger, maybe I would have just been like in shock. But I think with all of our experiences going to Celebration and Superhero Comic-Con, and like James hung out with Katie Sackhoff. We were there with Katie Sackhoff, and it was like, okay, this is not, I'm not totally freaking out here. And then the upcoming Space Con, there's going to be a whole lot of Star Wars people there, a whole lot.
Can't wait.
And they keep on getting announced.
Yeah, they keep on. There's so
I
many
know.
And yeah, just meeting. I mean, I'll run through the list of the people I met. Keanu Reeves, I fist bumped him. after he got his Inkpot Award.
Dang.
Saw Harrison Ford a couple times, walked by me a couple times. Anthony Mackie, the whole cast of The Boys, the whole cast of Rings of Power,
Mm.
the actors for Superman and Lois, they were very, very thankful that we were there. It's kind of hard to say. Because I went for a high five, but they both grabbed my hand and held it. Because it's the last season. This was like their last panel, I think. And I think they were so appreciative of us being there, of the press being there. And they were just like, thank you so much. Because that's the end of the thing. I mean, they were successful. And yeah, those were the more interesting interactions when I would go for a high five, but they would grab my hand and they would hold on to it. Like, either, I mean, you can go to several different like frames of thought there, but I mean, it felt like they were genuinely appreciative that you were there supporting them. That's the feeling I got. I mean, they were just, it was like, wow. That's the thing that really took me back. I was taken aback by all that. But, yeah. So, and Fede Alvarez, who I got to talk to him for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
He, as James and I kind of think about like creating movies, directing movies, his mindset when he did that Alien Romulus panel was very much, I think, my kind of same mindset about podcasting. And I kind of attributed the same thing because he talked about when he makes things, when he creates things, he never feels satisfied. Never. He feels like it was not good. And he says he has to kind of look at it, go back, and he's constantly trying to get better. And I got to tell him, I said, hey, Fede, all your movies are great. And he looked at me and he grabbed my hand. I think he put both hands on my hand. And he told me the same thing. He was like, God bless you. But see, in the panel, he was like supremely confident, a little bit like cocky, a little bit arrogant in a way. But when he got down to talking to us, very, very humble.
Wow.
Very, very
That's
much
cool.
like, thank you for being here. Thank you for covering my panel. I'm a struggling director, which he's not. He's
No,
an
he's not,
A-list
yeah.
director. I mean, he was acting like he was that, you know. A lot of these people acted like, please see my thing. Please talk about my thing.
It's like, of course we're going to watch Alien
Please.
Run. Like, what are you talking about? I already
Yeah.
got tickets to go watch it.
So they showed us some exclusive clips.
Oof.
We weren't allowed to record. It looks great. It looks
looks
tremendous.
Looks amazing. And
yeah.
what's great about Alien, though, everybody, was Ridley Scott saw Star Wars back in 1977 and was like, we need to do something. And the next movie he did was Alien. So just there is a connection
cool.
between Alien and Star Wars, like, where it's like that's the next big movie and the next big thing was Alien for Ridley Scott, because he said they're over there in America going into space and we haven't even attempted that yet to make it look as good. So I'm excited for that one. That's so cool you got to meet him, though. That's incredible.
He's a big man too.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was
expect
that big.
I didn't expect, when I saw the picture of him, I was like, oh my gosh, because I saw the panel, and
Yeah.
he's a pretty big guy, and he's just kind of collecting horror franchises he grew up with and making them. So good for him.
Yeah.
that's a pretty good career to have there, and they're good. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go back to the Marvel panel. So going to this SDCC, it made me love people more because of the interactions I had. So one interaction that I had with Florence Pugh, she was
okay, yeah, just say that, just yeah, cool. Yeah, I talked to Florence Pugh. It's fine.
So she was closer to me when she gave her speech before they showed the first trailer for Thunderbolts. And she gave a very impassioned speech. And I was like, man, she's beautiful on screen. She's stunning in person, man. She gets way, way more beautiful in person. She's one of those people. There's many people like that. But yeah, I mean, she was just like, wow, I love you.
And she would have
And-
been like, I know.
Right. So I let her know I love her. I told her, so she gave that big speech, so you can watch it on YouTube. And I haven't found a video where they hear my voice, but I yelled out. I said, "That's how you do it, Florence." And she turned to me and she laughed and she goes, in her British accent, she goes, "Thank you, darling." And I was like, "Oh my God."
That's not even allowed. You should have been like, that's not allowed. Like you can't just be saying that in public.
And then right
Florence.
when she said it, the footage came on. So it was like perfect timing.
Mm.
I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I love Florence Pugh now. I was like, oh, this is unbelievable. I mean, I guess I fall in love easy.
I
but
guess you do. Yeah. The Russo
Yeah.
brothers and Florence
Yeah.
Pugh. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like I love Katie Sackhoff too. I mean,
Yeah.
she's just awesome. So yeah, just interactions like that. But thanks to Ted, Canton City Geeks, I got to attend it, have all
Yeah.
these interactions, and they will be there at SpaceCon. SpaceCon just announced another person.
Who they announce? Is it who I think it is? I'm just joking. Oh my gosh.
So yes, Ezra Bridger from Ahsoka,
Yeah.
Iman Esfandi will be there
My
at SpaceCon.
brother apparently is gonna be there.
Yeah,
I
and we
should show
tell
up
James
with
all the
my-
time he needs to cosplay as Ezra from Ahsoka.
I posted a picture of myself in the beard, and someone posted him as Ezra. They're like, hey, and I was like, yeah, fair enough. That's so cool though that he's gonna be there. That's so.
Yeah.
How many people from Ahsoka are gonna be there now?
Yeah. Well,
It's a good bit.
I'll
Like
bring it
almost-
up on the screen here.
Almost the whole cast is gonna be there. And Darth Beard has joined us. Dang, missed 30 minutes, no notification. Oh, sorry, Darth. By the way, Darth Beard, I'm really jealous of your name. That's kind of the best name ever. Okay, so here we go. So Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Natasha, Eamon, Giancarlo, Katie Sackhoff, Ming Na Wen, Gina Carano, Ray Park, Ahmed Best.
And basically
Honest-
everyone from Star Trek. Right
Honestly,
there.
if Ahmed Best by himself, I think is tremendous. You know what I mean? Having
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
there is tremendous.
Yeah.
And God, I want to like the whole reason I want to go to this is just so I can shake hands with Ahmed Best. Like honestly, like that's he's when it comes to Star Wars celebrities, he's top of the list for me of like Star
For
Wars.
sure. Click on that voice actors tab, David.
All right. The voice actors tab.
Where
Yeah,
you
scroll
see
to the
that?
top. Scroll up.
Scroll all the way up.
Boom.
Matthew was gonna be there.
Dude, so earlier
That's pretty
today,
cool.
I was texting David. I don't even know what made me think of it. There's some like totally obscure, who would have thought of this being made, like a Funko Pop pack, a 2-pack of General Grievous versus Jar Jar. Who like it's from a Clone Wars episode, super obscure, but they both reprise their roles as their characters in this episode. I mean, they do the whole show, I think. And I'm like, David, how cool would it be to have Matthew Wood and Ahmed Best sign the same thing?
That's incredible.
He's like, dude.
I bought it
gotta do
today.
it.
It's
Yeah.
3-day shipping. So I think Zach and my
gotta
mission
happen.
is to get
Have
a
them
signature
sign it.
from Ahmed in front of the Jar Jar
Yeah.
pop, and then Matthew Wood on front of the
Oh,
Grievous
that's
section.
so cool, man.
So yeah, it'll be kind of obscure, but yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can see at the top there, if you're watching us on video, October 25th through the 27th this year, the Freedom Coliseum Expo Halls, right next to where the San Antonio Spurs play, will be SpaceCon. And Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, Iman Esfandi, Michael Pena, Giancarlo Esposito, Katie Sackhoff, Ming Na Wen. See, I told Katie Sackhoff last year at Superhero Con, I said, come back
You did say
to
that.
us. And
I
she is
think
back.
I think she remembered. I think she's gonna remember.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go to that taco stand if it's still here. Take a picture of me, and then if I'm there, I'm gonna be like, you don't remember me probably, but you told me that this was a place in LA. The best food in LA was this taco stand.
Right.
And maybe she might go, but she probably won't. But how cool would it be if she remembers me?
You never know. I
sweet.
think she actually moved back to LA, right?
Oh, she did? Oh, yeah, because her and her husband and her kid moved to, like, was it
Yeah.
Oregon? Or
Oregon,
no, not Oregon.
yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Cool. Maybe
Where
I'll run
she's
into
from.
her.
I think she moved back for childcare purposes for her. I think she adopted 2 kids,
Oh, wow.
and I think one of them needs special care, and I think LA is like the best place for that care. I think that's the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, good for her.
yeah. I mean, it's star-studded. I'm probably gonna get a picture with William Shatner.
That's
The guy's
crazy.
90 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Captain Kirk. My family was a big Star Trek family. He's the original.
He's OG.
Ross Marquand as well. He's the voice of Professor X in X-Men 97.
And many other voices. He does.
Right.
He does incredible voices.
Right. His voice acting, let alone he's an actor on The Walking Dead. But
And then he did Skull, right? Red Skull in Endgame.
yes, in
Because
Endgame,
Hugo
yes.
Weaving wasn't there, so that's him doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounded just like Hugo
He sounded
Weaving.
good.
Just incredible guys. So yeah, I will be there. Zach will be there. Zach's flying down from Michigan along with Colin. Colin will bring his newly created Chewbacca cosplay that's been officially approved by Rebel Legion. So it's screen accurate, and it does. He has all the Wookiee roars built into it as well. And yeah, it's pretty technologically advanced there. So should be a great time. I'm not sure if we're gonna have our own separate booth or we're just gonna have a mega booth. I don't know what scenario that is gonna play out to be, but if you find Countdown City, you'll be able to find me and 2 other really tall guys, Zach and Colin. So yeah, that's the SpaceCon news. Hopefully I see everyone there. A lot of people fly out from a lot of different places. We are friends with the showrunner, Bob Wills. We've had him on the podcast before. I tried talking to him yesterday. He was busy. I left him a voicemail. Hopefully he comes on. Hopefully he tells us some exclusive stuff. But it should be terrific. It's the weekend before Halloween, essentially. So, and I think they're going to do like a trick or treat inside.
Oh, wow.
So
that's cool.
We'll probably be handing out candy. I think they're calling it Trek or Treat. So not really Star Wars themed, but
but that's pretty clever. Whoever thought about that,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
yeah. But man, so I've met Ewan, Hayden, Rosario, Giancarlo, and Katie and Ming-Na. Haven't met Natasha. Haven't met Iman, and haven't met Gina Carano. And I think that's it from the Star Wars list.
You met Ray Park.
Yes.
That's
I
cool.
met Ray Park. I think Ray Park was the first one I met. And yeah, he's fantastic with the fans. And it was
That's
awesome.
sweet.
And of course, of course I met Ray Park because he intros our podcast
He
all
introduces
the
our
time.
podcast. So I was like, dude, come on.
I get that recorded from him. So yeah, he's the first voice you hear on our podcast. So yeah,
Man.
super excited for that.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I should be better by then.
Hopefully, you got a few months to recover.
So yeah, so we'll probably do more podcasts for Patreon where I kind of detail out specific days at SDCC and probably answer questions that people have and go into detail. But the next thing on our list of things to talk about was MOSH EISLEY. So I don't know if a lot of people know about MOSH EISLEY. Do you guys know about MOSH EISLEY?
I've heard about it through, I guess, you like seeing Colin and Hunter post stuff on Instagram.
Is
That's
it
about
just
the
a
extent of
mosh
my
pit
knowledge.
of Star Wars fans? Because that's what it sounds like. It's just a big
Yeah.
party with Star Wars fans.
Yeah, essentially it's a big party with Star Wars fans.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And here's their Instagram page. And I'm about to cough here, so give me a second.
Uh-oh. Bless you. Just kidding.
Thank you. So yeah, MOSH EISLEY was pretty cool, guys. It was really cool. it's a blended like Star Wars experience along with listening to emo music. So you think about bands like My Chemical Romance. There was some Blink 182 in there. Some of the stuff was a little younger than what I've listened to in the past and what I knew, but there was a lot of songs there that I knew that I could sing to and mosh to. There really was a lot of moshing going on, but yeah. So the next Mosh Isley is happening at Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Oh wow!
So that's going to be the Friday before Labor Day. I think.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah. Very soon. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. The merch was cool. They sold us these little lightsabers, like $25 a piece.
Oh, geez.
But they're every single color.
Oh, that's
so you
pretty
could
cool.
switch colors.
Okay.
And they were sturdy, durable. The handle has a nice weight to it. But yeah, really exciting. And they do this thing where Grogu, they start passing them around.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you can see the video there. Yeah, you can. If you're watching some video, you can kind of see it. But Entertainment Tonight ran a story about how they. I didn't even mention. I shook hands with Pedro Pascal, but from the Fantastic Four, from his panel, and of course he's the Mandalorian. But they showed video of Mos Eisley to Pedro.
Oh yeah.
Of him, crowd surfing. And he's like, yeah, he's in his new phase now. He's growing up.
Yeah,
Mom's not a phase.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
cool.
That was really cool. I think they might have it here somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's not posted.
No, it was up there. Keep going right there.
Right there.
Side
Okay.
Of no. It's you're talking about the interview with Pedro.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you can hear the audio.
I don't think we can hear it, can we? No, we can't.
Yeah, this was the moment, and then they show him this video, which I wasn't in the video. I don't know, resting or something. I don't know. But yeah, super cool. I definitely recommend that you go to it if you're ever at a Comic-Con or Dragon Con or maybe one day at a celebration. Who knows? But
yeah, surprised I haven't done it at a celebration city.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like something they would make a killing doing. So
it's a lot newer though, isn't it? Like past couple of years. Or
yeah. I think they started like a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But Mos Eisley, ton of fun. The hosts are super nice, super welcoming, and me and Ted went, and I picked that over going to the OneRing.net panel. So I had to sacrifice meeting Cliff Broadway and that whole crew to go to this. But I felt like it was more appropriate to go to this.
Yeah, I agree.
Than to the OneRing.net. And I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. And James Richard Taylor was there.
Oh, no way. Oh, just to shake his hand and be like, dude.
So yeah, so that would have been cool. And
Legend.
a couple of the dwarves were there.
Nice.
But I think there'll be more opportunities in the future for all that. But yeah, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm usually not one to go out and mosh pits or anything. But like I said, it wasn't like a mosh pit, but a lot of people gathered together with lightsabers.
Just footage of David in the middle, just
getting pushed around and
knocking people around and everything.
So I'll admit I cannot sing. I cannot carry a tune.
No,
but I was singing.
Yeah, you were. I told you he knew all the words. He knew all the words to the song.
That's why his voice is hoarse.
That's why you lost your voice. Come on, tell everybody the truth.
I didn't lose my voice, but there's video out there of me singing horribly. And these iPhone 15s, man, they pick up audio really well.
They look on you and you're like, we're going to hear everything you're saying.
They locked on. I sound horrible. Ted, when me and Ted got back to the hotel room, Ted was just laughing. He couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, okay, dude, it's you're good.
That's funny.
Okay, you had your laughs. Okay.
Okay, so if I'm there and I see him at SpaceCon, I'm going to ask him for that footage because I need to see.
Well, I mean, I'll just give it to you, James. If
okay,
you really want to see
you.
it that bad.
See, that's even. Of course, I want to see it. I should.
So I mean, okay, so let's preface this: that Ted is a musician, and he has a degree in music, and James is kind of the same thing, where he's a singer, he plays piano, He's kind of a musician himself, and I'm over here just like a podcaster for Star Wars.
James,
So-
we could recreate that scene from Top Gun when they're in the bar.
Yeah, we could.
what-
You lost that love. Okay, can you imagine, Dave? Yep, Black Parade. I would love to have seen that footage.
Yeah.
Are you singing that song?
I don't know the name. I don't know
Yeah,
that song.
yeah. He knows.
So,
He knows
yeah,
exactly
that's-
what he's talking.
I know like kind of sort of One Chemical Romance song, and that's about it.
David, be true to who you are. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Stop trying
Well,
to hide.
This
I
is a
am.
safe space.
I am. I was. So the new thing that they brought out that I just learned was bubble guns, bubble machine guns. So so I don't know if I cut or what, but I was at the front of the stage, and they just start firing all these bubbles, and finally a song comes on that I know the words to. So I start singing, and I have my lightsaber, and the bubbles start making their way down to me.
Just tons of soap in your mouth.
And
By the time
yeah,
it's
they
over.
were ending up in my mouth. I was tasting the soap, and then I was like Luke with the blast shield, like
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Trying
yeah,
to, like,
you gotta do that.
hit
yeah.
all these bubbles. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I got to concentrate on hitting these bubbles. And I was taller than most people, so I was above people. And you could probably see me in footage. They probably like, yeah, let's cut that out. But yeah, there were several levels of that place, the Music Box in San Diego.
Wow.
And my friend Gabe was there from Star Wars Replicas. And what was funny was Ted kept on running into him at SDCC, but I wasn't. So it was kind of funny. But here we are
Nice.
and I wore my Star Wars
That's
Stuff
sweet.
podcast t-shirt.
Hey, look at that.
And speaking of Anthony Russo meeting him, there's us in the picture.
Dude, that's sick.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, I have evidence of all these meetings.
I would have
and-
been like, hey man, so when you get back to LA, if you need any help, I'll be there to help you. Okay?
My boy James is ready to go.
Yeah. I would have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have. That's so cool though, man.
So I also met Rob Liefeld, who created Deadpool. He was on the
Wow.
show floor.
That's awesome.
But in my trying to meet him, he was talking to someone very, very familiar looking. And I was like, I know this dude. How do I know this dude? And I walked back and forth, back and forth. They were having a conversation. And I was like, is he a podcaster? I was like, he looks so familiar. And I thought about it. And I went through my mental Rolodex. And I was like, oh my God, that's Ryan Condal, the showrunner for House of the Dragon. It's like, we always talk about the show on the podcast. I was like, let me try and meet him. So Rob Liefeld leaves Ryan Condal just there. And I told him, hey man, I love your show. And then he also said those magic words. He goes, God bless
God
you.
bless you.
Like, am I
And I was
sneezing?
like,
What's
"Ah."
going on, man? I'm just kidding.
So I was like, man, I just want to tell you I have a podcast. We always compare your awesome episodes, week to week episodes, House of the Dragon, that we wish Star Wars could be that long and be that like detailed and expansive and massive and just world building. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, Leslie Headland is a friend of mine. And he started talking about how he's like, well, I think there's different constraints on a Star Wars show in comparison to a show that you do for HBO Max. And I was like, yeah, right on. And he said, I don't think I could ever work for Star Wars and be that constrained. I think I need to be, I need a little bit, like, I need total freedom. And he's like, and I brought up the fact that it felt like on Andor, Tony Gilroy had a lot of freedom. And he's like, that's Tony Gilroy, though. He's like, anytime there was any mandate or anything, Tony Gilroy was just like, no, that can't be done. And he did what he had to do for Andor. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I had a conversation with Ryan Condal on the show floor for about 10 minutes. And we kind of said our goodbyes. I had to go somewhere. And yeah, I took this picture with them. Here's the proof.
Nice.
That's sweet, David.
So,
Nice.
and I said, how aren't you not being mobbed right now? He's like, I look like every other middle-aged man on the floor right now. That's why. And he said, like, he's like, when I do get recognized, I don't get recognized for House of the Dragon like you just did. He said, I get recognized for my podcast. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know you had a podcast. He's like, yeah, it's called, I believe, What Stuff Dreams Are Made Of. I believe something like that. And I've looked it up. I have it saved and I haven't listened to it yet. But he says, he straight up does a podcast. And he was the same way. He treated me like a peer. He just treated me like it was just like he wasn't like super, like he didn't have the #1 TV show in the world, you know. He was just there like as a fan, just walking around with a backpack just like me, looking at stuff and buying things. And later on, he was staying at one of the hotels there, and me and Ted walked in front. He was outside like waiting for his like lift or whatever. And I said, Ryan. And he looked up and he goes, oh, hey. And I was like, good God, he said hi to me.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so many interactions like that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through my photos. I have some photos that I brought over. I also met Holly. I always meet Holly from what's the name of the podcast, James? Full of Sith.
Oh, okay.
She's the co-host with Brian Young, and she's a big Greedo fan. So my wife and my daughter made friendship bracelets, and I told them, yeah, make some friendship bracelets. You never know. My kids are like really into that, and I saw someone on Twitter post about how she had all these bracelets made, and she had some Chimere bracelets made, and then all the comments were like, oh, we want all the Chimeres. So I had them make some Chimeres, but just randomly out of nowhere, either my wife or my daughter made a Greedo bracelet. And so I was able to give it to Holly because she loves Greedo.
That's amazing.
And yeah, that was really cool.
Wow, that's cool.
But yeah, on the show floor, they had a big Acolyte display, and I did a Instagram live, and I kind of showed some of the
yeah,
stuff.
they had like the lightsabers and the helmet there.
So
yeah,
I was able to get really close to the stuff, and here is the helmet.
Look at that
up close.
hinge there on the
on
the mouth guard.
Yeah, I didn't realize the teeth ran around underneath like the slope there.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
How does he see? Those little slits it always bothered me even in the show. I was like, how is he seeing anything right now?
Yeah.
The lighting makes it look so different. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why when you go to Hasbro Pulse to buy the helmet or wherever you go, it looks like a shade of brown.
Yeah.
And and it says,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, cloak. And yeah, it was just, you're just separated by just those like black bands there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was super up close. The lightsabers, however, were in glass cases. So you can see the stranger's lightsaber.
Dude.
And Kelnaka's blade. And yeah, they just had the lightsabers out. I took pictures. I took video. I loaded as many as I could on here. Just a random Omega Masters lightsaber there.
Do you think the Strangers, or I guess Chimere's lightsaber, had two different props because of the like mini blade he could pull out from underneath it, or do you think it was all one prop?
Well, I mean, if you look at the bottom there, maybe that is detachable.
Because I mean, as a viewer, I didn't think it detached until you see him remove it himself, and oh, cool, But those are just the things I think about.
Oh, those are her knives,
Yeah. Her blades, yeah. And then there's like
the poison.
Yeah, and the poison that Torben drank.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
nice.
It was a nice display. I spent some time in there, just kind of observing and looking at stuff. Very, very nice details. But yeah, I also bought the artwork from Joe Caroni, who's been on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
I bought the Bo-Katan print. I think that was $65, and then the Shin-Hati Balin Skull print, which was, I think, $40. But the interesting thing is I had to walk from his booth to the Lucasfilm booth to buy the Shin-Hati poster. And then he's like, yeah, you buy it there, then you can bring it to me. I can sign it. I had him sign it. So
Yeah.
I'm in the process of buying these frames to frame up those posters. But
Yeah, I'd frame the Shinhati.
yeah, hopefully she comes to SpaceCon. I'm praying for that. Me and James can meet her.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go. If anyways, Darth Beard says wasn't impressed by the sabers in Acolyte. Should have been, but felt like minimal effort in design. Yeah, I know a lot of people criticize the sabers. I personally thought it was a good choice to make them the way they did, because I felt okay over the years, technology, things get smaller, things get more compact. I mean, look at our phones, how they used to be this thick, now they're just this thin. So I like the fact that we could see an evolution of a lightsaber design from 100 years before, or, I don't know how many years before
Yeah.
to the Phantom Menace, where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have their sabers. I was okay with that. And I know a lot of people automatically said, oh, they want them to look just like the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, you kind of, I don't know, I felt the evolution of the lightsaber is pretty apparent. And I don't know, I thought they were pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
They still work the same. It's a little different.
Yeah. David, you mentioned that there was a lightsaber created for this show that was like shut down or something like that. Am I thinking of something you might have said? I feel like I'm losing my mind here, but there was some sort of lightsaber that was being made for the show that was unlike anything we'd ever seen before.
I think
Do
it
you think it was the
Chimeras.
Strangers? Okay.
Yeah, the fact that you can pull out a little blade from the bottom.
Yeah.
I think that was
so
That's
big
cool.
difference.
I gotta send you guys a picture of this lightsaber toy I had from when I was a kid. It's called the dual action lightsaber, and you press the buttons at the bottom of the hilt, and a little like lightsaber knife-esque size weapon would fall out, and you could put it on the bottom and have like a really lopsided looking double-sided lightsaber, or you could, I don't know. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Noah says, I didn't have a problem with the size of the lightsabers, but they didn't feel as personalized to each Jedi as they did in the High Republic books. I will say there wasn't a lot of emphasis on the lightsabers in the show. It was just kind of like, that's the lightsaber. You know what I mean? Like they just pull out their blade and that's it. I will say they didn't really show that connection. And we didn't get to see the Jedi Vector being powered up by the lightsaber.
Oh, I wanted to see that so
like
bad.
I was like, I have to see this happen.
Yeah.
That's in the book. It's so cool, but I will say, they didn't emphasize the lightsabers as much in the show, but I guess, I don't know, pick or choose. But then for a fact, if they would have done that, somebody, not saying it, but like somebody on YouTube would have been like, why do we care about the lightsabers? Like, I don't understand why they spend so much time talk. Obi-Wan didn't talk about his I can already hear it. Like I said, those YouTubers, those, who they are, no matter what Star Wars does, they're going to complain about that. Like if we saw the Vector getting powered up by the lightsaber, somehow they would have complained that how does a lightsaber power that up? That doesn't make any sense. Just kidding. Season 2, dude. Yeah, everyone's hoping for that season 2. But speaking of seasons, though, there was a little mixed match earlier in the week when Colin was like, it's coming out on this date. And we're like, no, it's actually this date. He was like, no, it's this date. And then we got the official word. Skeleton Crew, December this year, December 3rd. Is that the date we're going with? No, I was just joking. December 3rd, Skeleton Crew. And they released some pictures already, some first look. And y'all have already seen the trailer, right? Y'all have already seen a teaser like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so the belief is that that's funny. D23, they're gonna show us maybe the trailer they showed us 2 years ago in London.
It was right. It was London, or was it? I thought it was at Celebration Anaheim when they showed it.
It was London.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and my big takeaway from that teaser was it was very, very dark, very serious, but there was a bunch of kids running around.
That's weird, right?
And I don't think they showed Jude Law at all, really. Maybe they showed him in this setting right here.
Yeah.
But other than that, and you can see the Orlan in the back.
How much older do you think these kids are now than when they filmed?
like
They
3
probably don't
years
even look
older.
the same anymore.
Okay.
They're adults now. I don't know.
Because at that age, I mean, 3 years
Well-
is a big difference, and
That looks awesome.
that's pretty cool.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
It's the speeder chase with the sidecar. Looks
Yeah.
like that looks really cool. She looks like Cyclops, which I'm for. And it looks like they're powering up a droid.
Right.
Or
Those flashlights.
Man, those are like Radio Shack flashlights.
I know someone who's going to be really upset about that. I'm not going to say who it is, but I know a certain YouTuber / podcaster is going to be very upset at the fact that there are flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear Amblin a lot, and I mean, they're riding bikes just like an ET. There's like a bike basket on this bike we're showing. If you're watching some video,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm for it. I am anxious to see how this goes because this is something different in Star Wars. This is strict. I mean, we have the Young Adventures, Jedi Young Adventures, which is not for everybody, but that's there. But we're also getting this, which is something that I think a lot of Star Wars fans have always wanted to see. I guess when I was a kid, I wanted to see like what are the kids? How do kids tie into Star Wars? How do kids tie into the whole bigger picture of the galaxy and everything? And I love that we're finally getting that. It's going to be like Stranger Things. There'll be 21 seasons. Yeah, was it Millie Bobby Brown is already like 21, 20.
Isn't she married?
Yeah, she's married. Yeah, well, yeah, because she's an adult. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens when you become an adult. You start to do
you
things get hitched and get married, and that's what she did. And so now she's older than Carrie Fisher was when she played Leia.
Yeah.
And I know for years everybody was saying Millie Bobby Brown should play a young Leia around that era, but now she's already, I think, almost as old as Carrie Fisher was in Return of the Jedi. So now it's like she could play that era Leia if they ever want to do that with Millie Bobby Brown. But anyways, back to Deadpool. But no, Skeleton Crew looks really, really cool. I want to see that trailer. Okay, are we going to get the trailer? Or are they going to Star Wars Celebration us and only show it to D23 and then not show us until like November?
I bet D23 we get it because I mean, if we're 4 months out, less than 4 months out.
I don't know, man. Star Wars is sometimes a big jerk about the trailers they show. Then again, Rise of Skywalker. That trailer was shown, that D23 special look, when we saw Rey with the double-edged that dropped on Friday.
The utility knife.
Yeah. And then Monday we got the trailer dropped online for everyone else to see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Disney doesn't hide the sneak peek trailer because that's what we're all expecting they're going to show at D23. And then I read somewhere there's also going to be another big announcement at D23 this year for Star Wars. We don't know what that is. There's a lot of speculation. I mean, David, what are you hearing this might be? What was that? Why'd you do that?
Trying to scare me, David?
Why did you if you just saw this on YouTube, that was kind of freaky what he just did.
Yeah, that nightmare fuel.
Wait, whose face did you used to put up all the time? There was somebody's face you used to.
There's a myriad of faces I used to.
Anyways, so what do you think D23 could announce? If they could announce something new, what would it be for Star Wars?
I mean, there's been long rumored animation that has been talked about, but it's like, man, I guess maybe the team from the Bad Batch. I guess that might be their next project, and we all know Filoni's like hard at work writing Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have 2 movies coming out, 2026, one in 2027.
Is the 2027 movie Dave Filoni's like climactic crossover extravaganza, or is that
Darth Beard has it?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
Max
a given.
Rebo.
I mean, you can't.
I mean, that's Max Rebo's Star Wars story. We already knew that was going to happen.
I mean, he hit the nail on the head, but I mean, come on, that's like.
But I want to see, and I've told you about this from a long time ago. I want to see a show about the building of the Republic after Return of the Jedi. Animated show, Leia, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, that Return of the Jedi era, right after Return of the Jedi, trying
That'd be
to
sweet.
build. I think that's something that would be really cool because we can't get back, we can't get them back. So many
Right.
years have passed, but this little time period animated could be something really cool. And then you bring in the Ahsoka timeline. You also bring in a little bit of the Mando timeline too. You start to tie it all together.
That makes a lot of sense, James.
You
That
know
would
what?
be sweet.
Sometimes I have some ideas.
Write that down. Write that down.
You heard it here first, folks. Actually, everyone else is probably thinking the same thing, but I feel like that would be a really good Star Wars show.
Now that is a really good idea, since I mean, like you said, the actors are older, some have passed.
Yeah,
you can do the different voice actor thing, and yeah,
I want to see Luke Skywalker meeting Ahsoka, like how that. I mean, we see them talking the Book of Boba Fett, but they seem like they knew each other.
That's a scene we have to see. We have to see that first time when Luke meets her. And then he says, "Tell me about my father." Like that's something we
holograms.
Does Leia also meet Ahsoka? Does Leia also go and meet her? And does she see Leia and go, "Oh my gosh, you look just like your mother"? And like this whole this is great. This is writing itself. Lucasfilm,
let's go, James.
Listen to us. We're gonna put this all over TikTok, and this is gonna go viral right here. Just kidding. Noah says there's a new trilogy of comics dropping later this year discussing the after effects Return of the Jedi to the Battle of Jakku. Ooh.
That would be cool.
And I think we've all wanted to see this. And I remember the Aftermath book. It was a trilogy that came out right Force Awakens and right around that time. It was one of the few books that dropped.
With like Poe Dameron's parents?
It was, yes, Poe Dameron's mother's in there.
And the
Snap
tree or something.
Snap Wexley is like Snap is like the main. He's like a young kid during that. And I think everybody figured we were gonna get that. What this is right here. I think everybody thought that's kind of what, but we didn't get it. And if you haven't read Bloodline by Claudia Gray. I can't.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Bloodline is one of my favorite Star Wars books with I hate to say the new Disney era. That book was amazing, so good. Han Solo's in there. It's incredible, and it's one of those books that I read and I'm like, this needs to be a show. This needs to be a movie. It's so good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna announce. Maybe they'll actually drop the title of the Daisy Ridley Star Wars movie. I mean, maybe they're going to be very transparent with that now. Now, I don't know that. I think the whole secretive mystery box J.J. Abrams approach may be completely done now with Star Wars. I hope. And I hope they just say, this is the movie. This is what it's called. And here it is. That's what I really would think would be pretty cool. They announced.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I don't know. But we're going to find out because it starts this week or next week, right? D23.
I think it's Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday. And
Thursday, Friday, something.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Colin's wife going to be there? Isn't Brooke going?
Yeah.
And it's right down the road from me. Like it's right down the road. I can drive 45 minutes down the road to this with no.
Go pick her up from the airport or something and drop her off.
Be a gentleman, James. Come on.
Be a gentleman, yeah. But yeah, I'm like, I want to go to this thing, so I want to sneak in so bad. But
just say you got to use the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? That's right. David figured it out. That's all you got to do is just say, I got to use the bathroom.
We'll edit that out, though. We can't let everyone in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can't let everybody know that we do it. But yeah, so anyways. But yeah, so Skeleton Crew, we're probably going to get a trailer at D23, and I hope they drop it for everyone else. If not, you're probably going to see it online over the weekend. But I really hope we get that trailer for Skeleton Crew. Maybe an Andor 2 sneak peek, just a quick look at a few scenes. What's another? What else is in production right now? Maybe.
I mean, the Mandalorian and Grogu, or is that?
Yeah, about to say maybe Mando and Grogu. Favreau gives like a brief little announcement about what they're doing.
Pedro's filming Fantastic Four right now, so he won't be around.
Yeah, but he's not even. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
He's
No,
not
you
going
make
to
a good
be
point.
anywhere on that set of Mando
Sure.
and Grogu. He's only going to be there for the recording
In the booth.
in the booth. Which, hey, James Earl Jones did the same thing. It's fine, But
Yeah.
but whatchamacallit. So yeah, we might get a little Mando and Grogu discussion, a look, maybe a synopsis, which would be pretty
Yeah.
cool to actually have them say this is what it's going to be about. I don't know, but I'm hoping for a really nice, fun-filled Star Wars weekend at D23.
Yeah. Speaking of Grogu, I met him at SDCC.
Dude, was he cool? Was he chill?
Dude, wait, what? What was Albert Einstein doing hanging out with him back there?
I thought that was Colonel Sanders. What are you talking about?
That's quite the crossover episode, man.
That's a conversation I want to hear. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's pretty great. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's like $100,000 animatic right there. So yeah, D23 is happening this weekend on my birthday. I could have gone for my birthday, but I didn't go. I went to SDCC instead. But yeah, hopefully in the future we go to D23 and like James said, he lives down the street. You could throw a rock and hit it. So
I mean, not that close, but still.
You could lob a rock.
If you had a cutoff guy, you'd make it for sure.
Yeah.
Inside baseball. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. There's a story that broke late before we could kind of talk about it and kind of think on it. But Daisy Ridley just did an article and a photo shoot for, I think, Women's Health. And I think the Hollywood Reporter ran a story talking about how she found out she has like an autoimmune disease. I think Graves' disease or something. And I mean, it's not like life-threatening. It's just like a kind of like avoid like gluten and try and be a little bit more kinder to your body because inflammation. She's more susceptible to inflammation and stuff like that. So yeah, that was something that just dropped. But yeah, she did a big photo shoot.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, and she has a new movie on Disney Plus.
I still want to watch it. That's the young woman in the sea.
The swimmer? Yeah.
I've heard it's really good. And her other movie she did this year, oh my goodness, what was it called? She had another movie that came out this year, and that one's actually doing pretty good as well. And she's having a pretty good year. She's having a good post Star Wars career right now.
Yeah,
Minus,
good for her.
She's, she just got diagnosed with this, but hopefully, with the doctor, it's what like he said, it's one of those things where it's not life threatening, but it's still one of those things that she has to be very careful, and they're gonna have to like watch it and everything. Are you looking at all the movies she's done this year? I think she's done 3 movies this year. 3 movies.
Yeah, Magpie.
Magpie.
Yeah,
And then,
The Young Woman in the Sea, and then there's a third one, right?
Yeah, I think she was the producer. Is she producing all of these movies, by the way? If she is, that's pretty cool for her to be doing all this. I'm gonna look her up really quickly. But anyways, and one more thing before we go. It looks like Lando is officially done. Lando is we're not saying. Well, that's what the writer he said. They
okay.
Much...
So, as we've all talked about on the podcast, Justin Simeon, I saw him up close too. He moderated the Star Trek panel, and he did an interview afterwards where they asked him about it. So I think it's been misconstrued. The information. Justin Simeon is done with Lando.
That's right.
Lando's not done because Donald Glover is probably going to do a movie now instead of a TV show, I believe, with his brother writing. Jeez, so it's kind of confused in the mainstream right now. People think Lando's done. I don't think that's really what the message was.
He's done.
Justin Simeon's done. And we knew he was done a long time ago.
That's
right.
And
I think the way he worded it seemed like it was shelved. But no, Lando's still going.
Man, Donald Glover writing a Star Wars movie and acting in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like that.
And he just, there was another article out there where Donald Glover talked about doing the Lando movie. And he was like, I can't see myself in a movie where everyone kind of expects to see something and knows that something's going to happen. He says he needs to make a movie with Lando that's unexpected and people are just going to be surprised by it, which I don't know if I want that with my Luke Skywalker, but maybe with Lando I'm okay with it, you know?
Well, yeah, Lando's always been kind of outlandish, but yeah, it's I don't know, man. He's just a tremendously talented person, Donald Glover.
Yeah.
I mean, music, writing, directing, acting. I mean, what else? I know I'm probably missing producing. Like he's just
And he can sing and dance.
yeah, and he's an incredible. I read somewhere a long time ago, mind you, that he was more accomplished than a lot of people give him credit for. The amount of awards he's won and nominations he's had for things, a lot of people kind of just skip that when it comes to his career. They just concentrate on one thing, but it's like no, he also did stand up for a bit. He was actually a really successful stand up comedian. And so yeah, I saw that report a couple of days ago about Lando, and it made me really sad. But then you're right, yeah, that writer was no longer involved in it. So I'm really hoping we still get this Lando movie. And
yeah. Glover's like so busy with stuff.
He's stupidly busy.
So and then Sean Levy, who's tapped to do a Star Wars film, just directed Deadpool and Wolverine. So he might be at D23, maybe talk to his movie idea or whatever.
Yeah, his thing about for Star Wars is he wants to do something standalone. He doesn't want to have it be too involved with with everything that's been going on.
Right.
Yeah, Star Wars is not a priority for him, and hopefully it will be. You know, hopefully he finishes something and he goes, okay, now all that power that I have on this, I'm going to focus now on Star Wars, and then he just completely gives us something amazing. So
yeah,
hopefully I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for the podcast, guys. Space Con's happening. Have a nice little logo here. It's like 79 days away or something. So
I hope
I'm not counting. You're counting.
Well, there's a counter on the website.
I know.
Yeah, James will be here. Zach will be here.
I'm gonna be there. Okay. Levy will not be at D23 as the Levy Star Wars just got a new writer. Oh, it did. Huh. I have to look into that. But yeah, I think Levy is still probably doing press for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think he's going to be kind of Deadpool Wolverine for like another month. And if I were him,
I think it's over, James.
Is it over?
Yeah. There's no. I mean,
there's no more press he has to do for. I mean, I know he did all the free stuff, but all right. So if I were Sean Levy, I would just be chilling right now.
Yeah.
Take a nice vacation, and then
he could take a victory lap at D23. It is a Disney project. I don't know.
If I were him, though, I would try to have that script. I know he's not writing it, but I would try to get that script done before Christmas. And then so that January 2025 hits, pre-production can start for his movie. And yeah, it seems like I don't know, feels like Disney's really slow right now. And I mean, we're still coming off of the writer's strike and everything. So, but hopefully it all starts to pick up here very soon. That's the word on the street.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways.
But yeah, we got Skeleton Crew to look forward to at the end of the year. We'll get our so-called Star Wars Christmas present. So
that's exciting.
There you go.
Yeah, that should be good. And we're in the beginning of August right now, guys. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. Space Con's the next big one, and then Skeleton Crew, which shot years ago. And
then here's the crazy thing before we go on. In December is the 10-year anniversary of the Force Awakens teaser trailer. No, not December. November. November is the 10-year anniversary of the Force Awakens teaser.
That
crazy.
Teaser was huge.
That teaser was nuts.
Massive.
We're gonna have to do something to celebrate that day.
So I'll get shirts and wear it to work that day, and I'm in.
That was crazy. Anyway, all right. So yeah, that was fun. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed our podcast. And David's got to jump on Patreon here when he feels better, and he's got to go more in depth on his San Diego Comic-Con coverage and everything. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait to hear that. And yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, also for sure, check out CountdownCityGeeks.com. They were responsible getting me to SDCC. They have an awesome website, update it daily, CountdownCityGeeks.com. You'll probably see some of my future stories on there as soon as I get to writing them. But yeah, it was a once in a lifetime experience, guys, and it was a lot of fun.
David's famous.
David's famous.
No, the people there were famous that I met. I was like, wow. It's just...
But now they're all your friends. So that's all that matters.
Oh man, that would have been terrific. But yeah. So yeah, with that, my name's David. Along with Zach and James.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I forgot my name. Forgot I was
my
talking
name.
to someone famous. I got starstruck for a second.
And
All
that
right.
is the Star Wars Stuff Podcast.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Yeah, the meds kicked in. I didn't know what to say at the end.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, bye.